Hi, everyone.
Hi, guys. I'm Haley.
Jose.
E.T., as you know, and we're back with another live feed Wednesdays, where we update you on everything going on in the world of Phoenix Dawn, Pixel, and anything else under the sun that we feel like talking about on Wednesdays. So, how was you guys' week?
Good.
Yeah?
Busy, as always.
Yes?
And Halloween went well. Hope everyone else had a wonderful Halloween weekend. And I did an apixal game, Gamer Girl, for Halloween live show and did Amnesia, The Dark Descent.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what the votes came in last Wednesday, and we voted on which game we wanted to see Haley play on her Pixel Gamer Girl.
Yes.
And so you actually played for almost 3 hours.
Yeah. It was actually long.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and I really liked your outfit. What were you? Some guy on the chat room thought you were a sexy cat in the hat or something.
Just a cat in the hat. Said I was a scaredy cat in the hat because it was supposed to be a scary game. So I was like, oh crap, I'll be a scary cat. So
Mom's on. She says hello.
Hello,
Hi,
Mother.
Mom. Yes, I don't know whether or not it was such a good decision to.
No.
I installed the Twitch app on my mom's phone, and so she gets notifications, when we go live. So now she watches us.
Now she's always there.
Now she's always there. So the Pixel Mom's there, and it looks like we've got Hip Hippie. Hi, Hip Hippie.
Hi,
Good
guys.
to see you again.
And Purr.
Is Purr here too?
Yep.
Oh, there he is. Fantastic. So yeah, another busy week, and I think we had a Halloween. I dressed up as Steve Jobs. Surprise, surprise.
I know.
We were talking about it the other day. It's awesome because the costume I get to wear. Even though I'm not going to wear a black turtleneck all the time, but it was just like a pair of New Balance shoes, some jeans, went to like a little Halloween party Friday night, and then half the people there thought that I didn't dress up as anyone, so they're like, oh, you're the only person at this Halloween party that does not dress up, and I was like, you're not my people.
You don't know who I am.
If you don't understand the New Balance, the white and the black turtleneck, then I don't need to know who you are. So then the other half of the people were like, wait, are you Steve Jobs?
And you're like, okay, you're my people.
I was like, okay, let's talk. We can be friends. So I had a good time being Steve, and then what were you?
Well, he was the cat in the hat.
Oh, okay, for Halloween.
For Halloween,
yeah.
Yes, because I went as Thing 1 and Thing 2 since I'm pregnant, so Little Blueberry was Thing 2.
Yes.
But then for the live show, I was like, oh, you can't really see Thing 1 and Thing 2. It wasn't, so I was like, oh, I'll dress up as cat in the hat makeup and stuff.
Well done.
So.
Well done. You dressed up nice. It was kind of stressful. Per and I were trying to help you out throughout the game.
No.
So, but you
Thanks
did it.
For the help. I did it. And then, of course, when I ended, that's where I got to kind of a little scary part with something in the water, which I wasn't like, was there something in the water?
I think
or was that just
is.
me splashing?
No, that
so I was like, okay, maybe.
No,
I don't know. But
definitely not. So, no, well done. Well done. So, I guess the question now is for your Pixel Gamer Girl Saturday, are you going to finish Amnesia Dark Descent?
I don't know. What are
your thoughts?
You always tell me what to do, and I just do what you say. So
I'm giving you more freedom now, so maybe I'll even let you choose what it is that you want to play. Yeah,
that's craziness.
Get out. That's what person's like there. Okay, so what were you guys for Halloween? So Per was like an orthodontist dressing up as a regular dentist. Was that what you dressed up as? Or am I just confused? Is Per an orthodontist? As a dentist? Per, explain. What are you? I thought you were a sound designer. Who are you?
I think he's talking about you.
Who? Oh, he's talking about
with
me.
Steve Jobs.
Oh, like an orthodontist dressing up as a okay, I get it. See, Per can be a little bit too witty for me sometimes. So
I got you, Per.
He's a smart guy, so some of his comments go like right over my head. So
well, I don't know. Maybe that wasn't what he was meaning.
Or maybe not. So he'll probably clarify. So. Dentist. Yes, unfortunately that's probably one of my mom's worst fears. So Per, if you did dress up as a dentist for Halloween,
you would not be welcome.
No, you would not be welcome at the Trowbridge household. No. So that's funny. So that was good, yeah. And then it looks like our weather here in Wyoming has started to change.
Yes.
Yesterday was crazy. It was like 67.
Nice.
It was really nice.
Yeah. We haven't had any snow yet.
No snow for the season.
Which is crazy for us.
It is crazy for us. We used to start getting snow, I think they said the average is like the first week of October in Wyoming. So have you guys gotten any snow yet? I think, Per being in Canada, he might have gotten something, but I know, it looks like I think tonight is the first time that it's going to snow. It's been raining all day, but I think as the temperature drops, we're going to get...
It's ready to turn.
Yeah, so the holidays
I'm excited.
around.
I love the holidays, so I'm ready for the first snow.
Yeah, you've got too much estrogen right now, so...
Excuse you?
19 degrees. Okay, 19, no snow. I think that's Celsius, so...
Oh, yeah.
Yes, because,
yes,
us
everything
Americans
else
is always
is...
different, so
We're the old
19 degrees would be freezing, so I'm sure that's 19 degrees Celsius. If you can please clarify for us on that'd be really great. Yes, and so let's see what other fun stuff happened this week. Well, big stuff regarding the game in Phoenix Dawn, which I'll walk you through here momentarily, will be Item Drop Engine, what I'm calling Item Drop Engine 1.0 is done, which is exciting.
Yes.
As you know, like an RPG game, that is such a huge element of gameplay, is being able to like get loot and find rare items and that kind of stuff. And as you know, one of the unique things about Phoenix Dawn is that you're going to be able to, if you find a unique object in the game, have the ability, if you want to purchase a 3D object of it and have it kind of like a collectibles item. And then also kind of the reverse of that, which is if you want an object in the game and you don't want to like walk around and like try to find it, you could actually purchase the 3D object and then redeem that. So basically, like we've talked about before, bridging the digital to the physical world using 3D printing on the game. And so the item drop engine is incredibly important because that is so important to a role-playing game. And so I got 1.0 done. I'm going to show you how it works, and I think it's working really well right now. And the nice thing, it's so versatile, so it can be applied to anything in the game that could have the potential of dropping an item. This engine will calculate that. And so I'll kind of show you exactly how we can go in there, set treasure chests, we can attach it to enemies, anything that we want to drop an item, and it runs all this crazy math. I actually had to take Advil last week because I was doing so much math. I was getting a headache. I was like, holy crap, there's so many for loops and variables and all this probability. I was like, damn, I really should have gotten a degree in statistics.
Would have helped a lot.
Yeah, but it's working, and I'm really happy about that. So, let's see. It is Celsius. Just looking at some of the comments here. I think 19 degrees Celsius is 658 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes,
That sounds pretty
I don't
right.
think I would. I don't think I'd hire to do the math on the engine for Phoenix Dawn. So it's good. I think having being the composer side of things, I think he'll be great at that, but maybe not the math thing. And Margaret, my dog, is watching. Oh, wonderful.
Hi, Margaret.
Yes. So, why don't we go into Item Drop Engine?
Yeah.
Should we take a look at that?
Yeah. Take a dive into it.
What I did is I kind of just created a really quick keynote, just kind of talking about there are 7 different item rarities in Phoenix Dawn, and then how the actual item engine will compute what the chances of those items are dropping. Then I'll show you how on the game designer side, how I can use this engine to set those numbers. And then when we actually play the game, you'll see when we break things, hopefully all of our math works, and I think it is. I've tested it like 100 times, so I think it's working exactly the way that it should. So, all right. Let's go ahead and jump into the keynote, and I want to talk to you about the different item rarities in Phoenix Dawn and how this Item Drop Engine 1.0 works. And then just kind of briefly talk to you about the future and how I've built this Item Drop Engine so that it can be expanded. Because obviously there's so many more variables that we have to take into consideration before an item drops in the game. So even though for right now in the demo, it's not necessary, but I know it's going to be there. So yes, so it's all ready to go to kind of just make this a really fantastic random engine to getting really cool loot in the game. So let's go ahead and switch to my desktop here, and let's take a look at the Item Drop Engine and how it works. Okay, so we're going to go into Keynote here. And now we're going to not be able to see the comments with these keynotes. That's okay. We can't see your comments with the item engine.
We're not ignoring you.
We're not ignoring you. So we'll go through this, and then we'll look at the comments and answer any questions or things. So, excuse me. So Item Drop Engine 1.0. So let's first go over what kind of item rarities that we have in Phoenix Dawn. Can I move this mic? Or I'm just going to knock that candle over and this is going to be a big
burn
fire.
my house.
I think you can hear me fine enough. So, all right.
Do you want to scoot your chair closer?
Oh, I guess I could do that, yeah. Look at that fancy transition. Isn't that amazing?
Whoa.
I know. So, the most common type of item that could drop in Phoenix Dawn, which is borderline junk, but I don't want it to be junk because I don't want to create any item in the game that's labeled as junk. But anything that's very common is going to be basic. And for the demo's sake, whenever you see a cube, that means it's a basic object. Obviously, in the game, they're not going to be cubes and shapes. But this is a testing of the engine. Yeah, but all of my fictional basic items I have represented as a cube, and its color is white. The next step up of rarity is uncommon. So uncommon objects in the demo right now drop as this little cylinder, and the text when you hover over the item is this. What is that? Like, is that like salmon? What color is that?
Yeah,
Pink?
like a peach.
No, I think salmon.
Salmon. Okay.
Salmon.
So we got basic uncommon items. The next level up is unique items. So you'll see them drop in the demo as like a little plus sign, and the color is blue.
And excuse Eric, he's colorblind, so
yeah, it's like
I've got issues.
So this is where I turn to Haley. The fourth level of rarity is unusual, represented by green, and I've got this like weird plus little mesh real quick. The next level up is rare, represented by yellow. The next one is exotic by, what is that, purple?
Pink.
Pink.
Okay.
Magenta.
Purple.
And the most rare item you can find in Phoenix Dawn are the legendary items, and I don't know what color that is.
You picked some weird,
Is that a
it's like
brown?
an orange brownish.
Okay. So basically, what this represents is just the different types of rarities in Phoenix Dawn. So basic being the most common object to find, and legendary being something where those kind of items will only drop on boss battles or something really special. They're very rare. Like right now, the way that I have the demo set up, only 1 in 1,000 times will a legendary item drop.
So I'm never going to find one of these things.
No, you're never going to find a legendary item. But this is just very important for gameplay-wise, that these are the 7 levels of rarity in the game. And then just like I said, for the demo, which you'll see shortly after this, I just have them represented by these symbol objects, which obviously will be replaced by the real objects. So those are the 7 levels of rarity. The next thing is how does the item drop engine actually compute this and figure out what item to drop how many. So let's take a look at that real quick. All right. So, oh dear, it's just jumping out. I made this like 5 minutes before the thing, but that's okay. So we'll start with column 1. So the first thing that we figure out is what is the probability of an item, of whatever I'm attaching this to drop an item. So for example, in this first, this says breakable world object, let's say like a pot or something, that's just kind of like an environmental object that you can interact with and that kind of stuff. The first thing that you can set is like, what's the chances of it actually dropping an item? So for an example purpose, I said, well, when you break a pot or some kind of world environment object, there's a 50% chance that object is going to drop something. The next thing that we set in the item drop engine is, okay, so if it does going to drop an item, what is the minimum amount of items that it will drop, and what's the maximum amount of items that it can drop? So as an example, for this breakable world pot, I said it's going to always drop at least 1 item, and it could drop all the way up to 3. The next one is the item count probability. So what is the probability that it's going to drop 1 item? What's the probability that it's going to drop 2 items, 3 items, and so on? So for example, I said, well, 70% of the time, it's going to drop 1 item. 20% 2 items, and only 10% of the time is it going to drop 3 items. So it figures out that math. And then the next thing we have to give the item engine is what kind of objects can this thing drop in those rarity values. So I said for like a pot, I don't want legendary items dropping when you just break like a clay pot or something like that. So we could say something like, well, if you break a pot in this level, it can drop a basic, an uncommon, or a unique item. And then it kind of does the same thing. It's like, what's the probability of it dropping those rarity types? So you can say like it's 80% chance that it's going to drop a basic item, 15% chance dropping an uncommon, and a 5% chance of unique. And then basically what happens when the game starts, it computes all of those numbers, and then when you break the object, it will then figure out exactly what kind of item it's going to drop. And what I did here is just to show you kind of the versatility, is like how I can just change these numbers to get exactly what we want. So I can attach the same item engine to, let's say, a treasure chest, and tell it that we'll have 100 when you open up and when you find these treasure chests, which are not going to be as common. There's a 100% chance that it's going to drop. It can drop between 3 and 5 items. You can see my weights there for how many, the item counts, the types of rarity items that it can drop, and the probability that those rare items will drop, etc., etc. And then the last example is not only can this be applied to like treasure chests and to breakable items, but also applied to all the enemies and bosses that we have. So basically, when you defeat a creature in Phoenix Dawn, what's the percentage that creature will drop an item? How many items can it drop? What kind of items can it drop? Etc., etc. So I think it's a very versatile engine that way. So let's go ahead and I'll just show you what the next step I'll show you is what it looks like in Unity. But let's just flip real back here real quick. I know. Hi, lurking. We're back. What were you doing?
I was looking at the comments.
Oh, okay. That would have been funny, like if you were picking your nose or something, and we like come back.
Definitely surprised her when you switched back.
I know. I'm trying to look at the comments. I'm like, oh crap.
I totally missed it, so I'm gonna have to rewatch it and to see it. So basically that's kind of the overview of the item engine as it is right now. The 7 different types of item rarities. Let's see if I can remember them all. Basic, uncommon, unique, unusual, rare, exotic, legendary.
Hey, you finally got it.
Yeah, so I have to know these rarities. And then exactly how the math and how it figures those things out. So the next thing I'm going to show you is, as a game designer, as we're building out these levels and things like that, how do we use this engine to determine that, and then to show you what it looks like and how it works in the game. So anyways. Let's see here. What comments did we miss? Because we can't see any comments. So okay. Oh, we got a lot of purr stuff. All right, let's see. We can see our own comments. Oh yeah, that's right. It's fun. You can see the comments, but I can't. There's something wrong with that. See, he's Purr. I'm assuming Purr is not colorblind because it looks like he was able to guess the color as well. How much is 70% in Fahrenheit though? Oh my god.
Come on, math.
I know, right? So here's the good news. So the good news is I'll show you how it works, and then what future things are going to be built into the item probability engine that are not accounted for right now is Phoenix's level. Yeah. Right? So we need to be able to calculate the higher level that Phoenix is in the game as she increases, right? That the higher chance of probability. So that's going to be a future addition to the item drop engine. Item classes. So there's different kinds of items that we can drop. And I think we talked about that last week. Yeah. About like what kind of items we can drop. And so we thought of some ones. So for things like traps. Eyes, potions, equipable items, like armor or whatever. So there's different item classes. So that's another layer. Can a pot drop an eye? And we don't want that, So that's another layer that we're going to build into the item probability engine. And then there was another one. Oh, and then level. Right, depending on the level that you're at. So right now, like if you're in Evermore, which is the ruins, the sand, there may be specific items that can only be found in Evermore. In a sand level. Yeah. So that's another layer of probability, is to look at what level you're currently in. And so the item engine knows what kind of items to drop. Yep. And then like we'll have to add a couple more tweaks like when we get to like a big boss fight. If it's part of the story that this boss drops a certain eye for your magic spells, to tell the item drop engine that this thing always drops this, right? So many, many layers, but at least the core engine is there and it's figuring it out. And now that I know how to do this, when I get to that, adding that into the engine,
it's not going to be hard.
It's not going to be hard. So let's take a look inside of Unity, which is the game engine that we use, and how I determine and set those numbers for the computer, basically to figure out all that wonderful math. So we're going to go back to here, and we will be able to see the comments this time. So, all right, hold on. Let me actually, yes, there we go. All right. So let's just jump in here and I'll show you exactly how this works. So in the world game object here, we have these clay pots, which I think were there last time that I showed you, just as like these items to kind of test. And this is the engine over here on the right-hand side. So I'm going to reset it and I'm going to show you exactly how me as a designer will go in and decide, okay, this pot, when it breaks, what is it going? So the first thing that we do is probability to drop items. Right now, I say that this pot has a 50% chance of dropping an item. I'll leave it that way. Minimum items to drop, we'll just do one. It's always going to drop at least one, but it could drop up to 3. So now I hit this calculate weighting button. And percent chance of dropping one item. So what do we want there? We can say, maybe there's a 75% chance that it's going to drop 1. That there is a 20% chance it's going to drop 2 items, and there's going to be a 5% chance it's going to drop 3. Going to hit the set weights. Item rarity settings. So this is where I tell the item drop engine what kind of...
Can drop.
Exactly. So I can come in here and say, I want this pot to drop only basic, uncommon, and unique items. Actually, for demo purposes, I'll just leave them all checked. And then I hit this calculate weighting button. And basically it asks me the same questions, like what's the percent chance of dropping basic items? I'll say a 50% chance. Uncommon items, let's just do 10, 10, 10. Really the fun items begin at rare. So, and so I have this nice little counter here that I put, so it's easy for me to kind of just go in here.
You're complaining about all the math, and it does it for you.
It does, I know. I built it that way. So basically what I've said here is I've gotten is a 50% chance basic, 15% uncommon, 10% unique, 10% unusual, 10% rare, 4% exotic, and 1% legendary. And then I hit set weighting. Done. My numbers, my probability stuff is all entered in. As soon as I launch the game or hit the play button, these numbers are going to run. Now, right now what I did is I just edited this clay pot. But if you're familiar with game design, there's something called a prefab. So I can save it so that the settings that I just set are the default settings for every pot in the game, which we'll use a lot.
Yes.
But then there could be a certain pot that if I want to make that one pot unique or different, I can do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to hit this apply button. And that's just going to apply these settings to all 7 pots that are here on the ground for me. Now... one of the things that I can check out even before we go into the game, let me just hit the play button to run all of this fun math.
Check your console.
Yeah, so you can see over on the very far left-hand side of the screen, here are my 7 pots. And what happens is now that it's calculated, before I even break these pots as a developer, I can see what it's going to drop. So for example, this pot right here is going to drop something, will drop an item, true. It's going to drop 1 item, and the item that it's going to drop is dirt. It was very creative with these fictional item names. And I just put in parentheses, it's a basic item. So it's going to drop a basic item. My next pot, which is this guy here, is not going to drop anything. This pot's not going to drop anything. This pot... here on the far right will, and wow, it's going to drop a rare item. It's going to drop 1 item, and it's going to drop opal, which is a rare demo item that I have. This one's going to be, it's also going to drop, but it's going to drop 2, and it's going to drop sandstone and rock. That's awesome. Even though you can't do it. That one's not dropping anything. And the one in the very far back will drop something, and it's going to drop leaves. So, like I said, none of this stuff is going to be actually really in the game, so... So if it drops, we have a question in the comments. So if it drops multiple items, does it drop the same rarity of items or can they be different? So great question, Hapini. So how the engine works is it calculates it on a per item basis. So that means that when it goes through the calculation, says I'm going to drop rare items, it doesn't mean that it can only drop rare items. It's just basically it goes through every item individually and does that math probability. So as you can see here, I do believe we have 2 types of items, like on this pot.
Rare and basic.
Yes, it's going to drop 2, and it's going to drop 1 rare item and 1 basic item. So that's the nice thing about the engine. It calculates it based on individual items and not on the object itself, I guess you could say. So, yay! Baxter made it. Hi, Baxter. So, so that's basically what I can see from here. I know exactly. And then every time that the game starts, it's different. So, for example, like this first clay pot here at the front, right now it's going to drop 1 thing, and it's a pebble, which is an uncommon object. But the next time that I start the game without doing anything, let's see what it changes to now. Now it's not going to drop something. So the awesome thing about something like this is that it's completely random. Every time that you play, every time that you...
different.
Yes, it's completely random. You'll never know what's going to drop based on the information that we set. So now let's just take a look. Instead of in Unity, let's go actually into the game and just kind of see exactly how this works in real life.
Chicken Head's with us as
well.
well.
Hello, Chicken Head.
As well as Pierre.
Yay! So we got France on board, and we also have Denver. I do believe, Chicken Head, you're based in Denver. You're not too far away, which is awesome. So let's go ahead and see this, what you will see as a player. All right. What does this item engine look like? Campaign. Let's go to new game. Oh, I hate this loading screen. It must die. Must go away. All right. So here we are. And we've got these 7 pots. It's already calculated what these pots contain. But as a player, obviously, I don't have any idea. So let's see. Littleton. Oh, okay. Littleton, Colorado. There we go. So one of the first things that I added was when your mouse moves over an object that you can target, you can see that, I just added a really quick outline and that kind of stuff to make it a little bit easier to know which objects in the game, you can actually interact with and which ones you can't. So just something simple like that. And then when I want to break it, I can cast my fire stuff. And if you remember from the presentation, I think we have a basic item, which is leaves. So when you hover your mouse over an object, you can see I have the item name. And it kind of gives that one's pumice, which this one is... What is that one? That's 4. That's unusual. I think this is unusual. Yes. So this is the level 4 rarity. So I'm going to go click on this. Nothing was in that pot. Ooh, what did we get in this pot?
That's a good pot.
That was a good pot. This is quartz and marble. All right. Let me break this pot. There's another unusual item, limestone. And nothing in that pot. But you can see if when I restart the level, every time that I do this, it's different. So everything, I'm just going to break these pots and then we'll see exactly what they are. So what did we get? We have a square, which is basic. That's a rock, pebble, another rock, twig. That's quartz. That's pebble. And one of the things that I just implemented today was when you hold down the Alt key, it will just automatically show you the names of any items that you can pick up on the ground. So you can hover over it to see it, but if you're like, oh, there's a lot of items on the ground, I can just hit the Alt key. Okay, we've got a rock, pebble, a rock, quartz, and twig. So this basically is the most valuable item. Exactly. Yeah. So you can see what's on the ground before you decide, hey, I'm going to go grab that item. So let's just see what we get this go around. Boom, boom, boom.
Not good.
No, not good at all. Only one of the pots dropped something, and it's an uncommon item, and that's flint. So we have some flint over here. Oh, great. That was not a good roll of the dice.
No, it was not.
Oh, now this is an exotic. That's emerald. We got an exotic item this time. Our weights are not very good because it's dropping way too high valued items right now. So this is where
I like
game. You like it, yeah. So we've got, now hold down the Alt key again. I can see exactly what dropped. That's fantastic. So the next step here is being able to, if I want to pick up this emerald, just add it to my inventory, which is what this button down here is going to do. So I can kind of like collect things as I go around the world and I open treasure chests and grab pumice, or I can come over here and I can grab this pebble. And then what I'm thinking is the background of this button, as you fill up your bag, just is behind the button. You're going to see it kind of slowly, box fill up. So you know exactly like if her little satchel is full. And so the next thing is I'll be able to come over here, pick up, let's say I want this pebble. I can pick up the pebble, click on the inventory, see the pebble, see the item properties of the pebble, that kind of stuff. And then what I'm going to move on to next is I'm going to create kind of our first in-game asset, which is kind of like where the home base will be. And she'll have like a stash area where you can move things from her satchel to the treasure chest to save them. So if you find something really cool, which then will lead me to saving the game. Because then I'm going to want to be able to, if I just run through this and I find some cool stuff, to save it and I can restart the game and still have my loot there. So I think that is my next step. So, yep, let's just do one more time. Let's just see what we've got going on here. Oh, we've got some good stuff this round. So we got another emerald, twig, marble, slate, pebble. Yeah, the weights are completely off. But the nice thing is that it's so easy for me to go back into Unity and just adjust those accordingly. So let's jump back to... Are you ready? Are you prepared before I switch? Okay. Not picking your nose or anything?
No.
Okay. So, yeah. So what you can see is like the pots, are just a simple object I created real quick. Not a final asset, just that it breaks. It calculates what items it can drop. Hopefully you can see that it drops different items based on the settings that we had in Unity. And that's just how we can kind of go about making these objects in the game. So
yes.
Let's see, let's see if there's any comments we have here. So yes, we were talking, I think it was last time we were talking about hippies. Yeah. Like, how do you pronounce that? Hippie. Hip pipey. I don't know. It is a really cool, unique name, that's for sure. So, and I actually now I'm just realizing because there's a lag that chat box just covers up like 1,000% of the UI. So.
Oh yeah, totally.
Never mind. Yeah. So, item drop engine 1.0 is kind of set.
Yep. And the good thing like that is, I mean, it's very versatile right now, and you know what you're doing already. So as you progress in the great game, it's going to be so much more easier to just implement those same things. We already have the concepts down. We already know what needs to be done.
Yes.
So.
Yes. So the next steps now is an inventory UI, picking up the objects, being able to save the game, and we talked about last time like what kind of items to drop. And Baxter, who's always been incredibly awesome with feedback and like ideas and stuff, you know, with the idea of traps.
Yes.
And personally, I love the idea of traps. I don't know if anyone's ever played Diablo 2. There was a class in Diablo 2 called the Assassin, and a lot of their skills was setting these traps, you know, and not so much like melee combat. I loved it. I loved setting traps and watching these traps go off. So I think it's a fantastic idea. So I might just do a simple test with a trap, which would be like a bomb. Like if you find a bomb or something out of a pot, you can pick it up, assign it to like your right mouse button click. So then you can have like inventory, throw bombs, that kind of stuff. So I think that would be my next test of the engine, is being able to have a left mouse button ability, you know, which is like magic, and a right mouse button ability, which I'm thinking like a bomb would be a great because it's inventory, brings in the class system of different kinds of objects. So yeah.
Yep. A bomb is coming.
A bomb is coming into the game, yes, to start. So yeah. So and then, you know, now. Right now, today I finished out the build that you just saw was A23, and so my goal for A23 was item names and being able to use the Alt key to see everything. So I closed out that. Now I'm moving on to A24, which is the beginnings of inventory. So as a reminder, like these little minor builds, not polished. You know, obviously it's just there for functionality, and then when I hit build A3. I'm going to take all this stuff and just make it look really good. So that A3. And A3, I will be the first build that we will have people test.
Yes.
You know, and just have specific things. So I'm on 4, 5, 6. There's only 4 more minor builds before our first more public build outside of this.
Let people test it and tell us what works, what doesn't.
Yes, exactly. So that's good. So onwards and upwards we go. That kind of stuff. So anything else that we need to talk about on this cold, dreary Wednesday in Wyoming?
I'm hot.
No.
It is.
It's hot in here. We have the fireplace going in the back.
Turn it on.
Jose's like, oh my god, melting.
I'm not hot.
No, I'm not hot either. So, yes, testing and good. So it looks like chicken head, and actually, you know, like, definitely like as far as like who we're gonna decide to test. You know, I really feel, you know, like there's so many regulars now on our live feed, like giving you guys maybe on like the Tuesday before, you know, giving you that build. And so when we have our live feeds on Wednesday,
give us some feedback.
Yeah, exactly. You can you've seen the game where it's at right now, so you can kind of test it on your computer. Things that will be important for me will be things like screen resolution, you know, is the text legible? So at least then, you know, if we release our stuff on Tuesdays, you know, for people here on the live feed, then Wednesdays, not only am I showing you what I'm currently working on, but you can talk to us, let you know what you like, what you don't like, as we kind of continue to polish and refine. So, how's that sound? I'll start sending out some builds here on A3.
Exciting.
Send them out Tuesdays, and then we can chat about it on Wednesdays. I think that sounds like a fun plan. So, yay. Yes, it will be exciting, and it's exciting. For lots of words. So, awesome. Well, let's call that a plan. So, next Wednesday, hopefully, you know, we'll be showing the inventory screen and just kind of the basics of that, and then saving games, then item class categories, and then I'm really excited to start working on leveling up again and being able to, like, that fireball that you see right now is way too big. It's massive.
That's the kind of spell I need.
Mm-hmm.
That's longer. Exactly. That's my kind of spell.
Yeah, I want to be able to, like, when you level up, to get the fireball should start small, and then get bigger. So,
and
yes.
not be so far ranging.
Yes. So A3 I think will be a really fun build. So, all right, you guys. Well, I don't know. Is there anything else we need to discuss on this Wednesday?
Not that I can think of.
Cool. Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed kind of the inner workings of the item drop engine and seeing it in action and just kind of the potential that it has. And the fun thing about that is the code, because the other really randomized thing in Phoenix Dawn are the dungeons.
Yes.
Which is a whole nother beast of being able to take 3D tiles and randomly putting them in. Yeah. But the nice thing is actually a lot of the code for the item drop engine.
Be the same stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm like I said, I am becoming a C# whiz. I'm just so, not to be egotistical, but I'm so proud of myself.
Big head on this guy.
When I figured out this stuff, I was like, oh my god, I'm a smart person.
Okay, it's time to be done.
Yeah, I'm to be fun.
Ready for your sports quiz?
My sports quiz?
Yeah.
Mr. Big Head.
What do you mean by that?
We're going to quiz you on sports.
Oh, God, no. For those of you who don't know, I am not a sports person, sorry.
Like, at all.
At all. I have no interest in it. And I know a major majority of the population,
I know. He always fights with us, but I said, you are in the minority on this one.
Like, you watch football for like 8 hours a week. I don't understand it at all. It makes no sense, so... Anyways, but let's see. Oh, Chickenhead just got the book on Amazon.
Oh, yay!
Which is funny because we actually need to send a replenishment.
Yes, we do.
To them.
We're
down to one now. If that just happened. So,
Get more out there.
Yeah, so great. I hope you really enjoy it,
yes,
Chickenhead.
Give us feedback. Let us know what you think.
Let us know, definitely. And C# is a wonderful Chickenhead, make our own Now, esports, something totally different. I'm all about, but like fantasy esports, not like Madden or anything like that. Like so StarCraft or League of Legends or Dota. I think those are all like really fun things to watch. That's the sports of the future. They're safe. You don't get concussions when you run into people. It just makes sense.
You're just like Mother on this one. Just play it safe, sit behind a computer.
Maybe someday down in the future we'll make an esport game. I have an idea for an esport game based in the Phoenix Dawn universe, which, is years down the road. But, I think it would be a lot of fun to see people compete in it. So, all right, guys. Well, anyways, have a great evening.
Yes.
I know winter is turning for a lot of you, so enjoy the cold weather, stay warm, be safe, put chains on your tires if you need to. Just don't be dangerous. And, we want to have you here on the live feeds, and particularly from your home and not from a hospital bed. So be smart out there. And thanks again. It's always a pleasure to have you guys. We'll be back next Wednesday showing the item integration with the engine and where that's gone. Are you gonna be doing a thing on Saturday?
I'll be doing a thing on Saturday. I'll have to figure out the time.
Okay.
Meeting with family to go over Thanksgiving stuff on Saturdays. Yes. So I'm not sure what time yet I'll be available, but it will be sometime on Saturday.
Okay, so stay tuned to the Facebook apixal page. We'll let you know the time Saturday, and we'll do Haley's Gamer Girl, and we'll figure out what you're going to do and all that fun stuff. So, all right, everyone, have a great week. Always fun, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.